Hi guys, it's Leanne here with Let's Talk About Ice on the radio live stream. And I'm here with Brooke Wheeler, and we do apologise for coming on a little bit late tonight, but we've had some technical difficulties, and you can understand with there was a bit of rain and storm around. Maybe it was to do with that, Brooke.
That's quite difficult.
So I'd like to introduce Brooke. We're about to go on air with the Radio 101.5 Bow FM, who I thank for having us here in their studio, and so the audience will be listening to us in a moment. So please type in any questions that you may have, and
30 seconds.
Okay, we're starting in 30 seconds on the radio, guys. So welcome once again to Let's Talk About Ice, and I'll be introducing Brooke in a second. Okay, bear with us.
20 seconds.
Oh yes, there we are. Trying to get this up loud. So we're just setting up now and getting
10
all the
seconds.
10 seconds, and we'll be starting. So
Okay, 5 seconds. When you're ready.
welcome everybody to Bow FM 101.5. You're with Leanne Butcher from Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, and tonight I have a lovely special guest with me, Andrea Simmons' daughter, Brooke Wheeler. Hi, Brooke.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, when I say a couple of weeks ago, this is our third session with Australian Anti-Ice. Let's Talk About Ice. And for those listening on the radio, we do also a live stream. You can find us on our Australian Anti-Ice Campaign Facebook, like us, and you'll see us talking to you on the radio as well. So live stream tends to go around the nation, and so we'd like to hear that you're watching and make sure people are hearing us properly. Oh, Season's watching. Thank you, Season from Melbourne. And we do apologise for being late. We did have some technical difficulties coming on tonight. So now the first session we had with Let's Talk About Ice on the radio, if you remember those of our regular listeners and followers, we interviewed Andrea Simmons, the founder and a CEO of Australian Anti-Ice Campaign. Tonight we're going to hear from her daughter's point of view, Brooke's point of view, and her journey while her mum was going through, and as she was going through addiction, and her journey after the addiction. So, so let's get into it tonight. Brooke, how would you like to start to share your journey as the daughter of someone going through that dreadful ice addiction?
Well, I guess I can start by sharing a little bit about my home environment and my relationship with my mum. We were always so close. I look very much like my mum, so I always get told that I'm a mini version of her. And yeah, we really are very similar. But so we had, a very normal, as you'd say, family life. It was, my mum, my dad, my sister and I, we moved up from Melbourne together, and everything, it was quite stable. We were in good schools, good home life, and then, things started to change once my parents started having a few issues, and then that led into a few more issues from there.
Okay, and what were those issues? What happened with your mum and dad?
So they decided to separate, and a couple of months after that, my mum had moved down to Melbourne.
Okay.
And that's where the addiction started.
Okay, how did it make you feel, if you don't mind me asking, with your mum suddenly moving to Melbourne and leaving you? How old were you at the time?
I was 19 at the time, so that was really disruptive for where I was at. I just finished school, and we were at a point we had to get rid of the family home, so my dad was living at my sister's at the time, and I had to move in with a friend. So not only did my mum leave to go down to Melbourne, I had lost my stability, my routine, my home life.
Of course.
Everything there,
So were you angry with your mum at that time for leaving you?
It was quite confusing for me.
Okay.
I didn't quite understand what was going on, and I guess why there was so much disruption, and I guess I just had to keep pulling along.
Yeah. Did you have contact with your mum while she was in Melbourne, or how does that story go? Is that time frame?
In that time, my mum moved down to Melbourne for a guy that she was seeing. I didn't know too much about him or what they were doing down there. And just, within a couple of months, we'd completely lost contact.
Right.
It was really difficult to get a hold of her. It was strange because she was the type of mum that would always be checking in with us. I had a really close relationship with her, and when I was out with friends, like constantly getting phone calls, checking in, knowing when I'm going to be home. Just like caring for us, my sister and I. But then within a couple of months, completely
nothing.
Lost contact.
Lost
no
contact.
Phone calls from her, nothing.
Did you have any idea what she was going through during that time?
No.
Did you have nothing at all?
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was that time frame gap. How long would you say that would have been?
It was quite a few years. She was down there. She was there. I think it worked out to be about 3 years.
No contact in 3 years.
She was down there. I've got family down there too, so I went down. This was earlier on in that time. I went down there to visit my family, and I had gone around to see her, and it was quite bizarre. Like it wasn't the mum that I knew.
Wow.
She was just paranoid, and like in this little unit with her partner, and they were almost being like childish again with each other and the way they played, and it was just a really bizarre space to be.
And I can imagine from a daughter's point of view, you would have been a little bit afraid or unsure, angry. Was there any anger in that, or were you just confused?
For me, it was just a lot of confusion. I guess I didn't quite understand what was going on. I didn't really put two and two together at that point.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll leave it at that for the moment. Who we're talking to, for those of you who have just joined us, we're talking with Brooke Wheeler. Brooke is the daughter of Andrea Simmons, who founded Australian Anti-Ice Campaign. And Andrea herself went through the journey of ice addiction, got out the other side once, and she put together Australian Anti-Ice Campaign. And it's good to hear, folks, from a daughter's point of view, a sibling point of view. And with this in mind, guys, just know that you're not alone. For those of you who have, siblings, you may have parents. Look, this drug ice, it discriminates against no one. There's no socioeconomic thing.
Yeah.
It happens to anyone of any age.
Yeah.
And you may be a son, a daughter, a niece, a nephew of someone, a friend going through ice addiction. If you have any concerns, you can call us on 075 6063, and we can set up some support for you guys, whether it's individual or family support. We've got a family support line as well. That number is 0481 844 555. For those of you who have any questions and are experiencing within the family ice addiction, and what we do at Anti-Ice is we take in education and awareness into schools, prisons, corporate areas, teaching against ice addiction, and we do use lived experience, people who have been through the other side come through the other side of ice addiction.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, Brooke, your experience, we'll talk a little bit more about how you reconnected to your mum, but I just want to let you know, folks, Brooke is now a counsellor herself, and the name of your counselling service is?
Armonia?
I kept practicing it on the way here. Armonia?
It's Spanish for harmony.
It's beautiful.
So, meaning balance. My mum's wise words growing up were always balance in life.
balance in life. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Harmonia as well, counselling services, and how you can maybe, if you feel you need some counselling service there, we can contact you can contact Brooke at Harmonia. Is that right? Harmonia.
He's got the Spanish pronunciation.
Okay, so we've got 1 minute to go before the next break for the radio people listening in. But if you'd like to join us on live stream, you can like us on our website at Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, and then you'll see us there on live stream looking wonderful. And if I could get Brooke to try and look at the camera a little bit more when she's talking, we might do that. That's great. So thank you 101.5 Bow FM for having us on. We really do appreciate you allowing us to have this time, and they've even said we can go overtime, so because we started late, so that's very kind of you, Bow FM. We appreciate it so much. Okay, so Brooke, we've left it at the point where you did visit your mum in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Okay, you found it quite bizarre and confusing for you.
Yeah. And
we're going to, after the break, we're going to hear more about how you and your mum reconnected, because that is a very good story.
Yeah.
So we've got 3, the countdown, go. And a break has come on now for live stream audience. We'll get Brooke to try and look at the camera now. I'd like to say a hi to Tara, to Kerry Nolan, thank you for listening in. Once again, hi Sezen from Melbourne. We've got amazing things happening with Australian Anti-Ice. We're setting up in Adelaide at the moment too. We're getting a team going there, and it's really coming together well. So that's great. So once again, guys, if you're on live stream and you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask questions. Hi Glenn, he's saying hello ladies. Hi Tim Dennehy's watching as well, so I'd like to say a shout out to them. And thanks for the encouragement, Sezen. We're doing so well for the technical problems that we had at the beginning. I think we're settling into the show.
Recovering from that.
I like that. That's a good word, recovering. I think that's a statement of the night. I like that. So
Making a comeback.
Making a comeback. Yeah. We're the 1 to 2% crazies. No. They come back. So guys, like I said, our family support number is 0481 844 555. If you need some family support regarding ice addiction with family members or even friends, you can give us a call on that number, or 07 5665 6063. The other thing is, guys, that you can get on our website. We do have a website. It's called
www.australiaantiicecampaign.org.au.
Did you get that?
Oh, lucky I got that.
I put you on the spot there.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so it's www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. And on that website, guys, there's a way you can help support, because we are a not-for-profit charity. We are dependent upon the sponsorship of businesses and kind donations from the public, so that we can go into the schools and we can bring a program to your kids, your grandkids, so that they can learn strategies of how to say no, not even once, and that's our catch cry. Okay, and we are also Victoria is setting up forums in Geelong, Frankston, Leongatha, Sale, Melbourne. You can contact the Melbourne office for more information. If you like, I can set you on your way if you ring the 5665 6063 number. Okay, and hi Joe Carolyn, great work. Oh, thanks Joe, really appreciate your encouragement. In the background we can hear Andrea singing one of her wonderful songs. Your mum has got a gift in her voice.
Amazing. She's always been so passionate about music, and
yes,
that's come down to me as well. It's really moving.
Yeah, it is very moving, and I know last fortnight we sat here to let you listen to her music, so today I think we might just talk softly with the music in the background. How's that? Just so our live stream audience don't sit back and think, okay, what are they doing? They're sitting back doing nothing. So thank you. Now, Ammonia Counselling.
Yeah.
What's the phone number there?
That phone number is 0424 549 916. If anyone would like some counselling, I run a mobile outreach counselling, so I like to do things a little bit differently From working in the mental health field for a little while, I've seen there's a little bit of a gap, and I try to meet people halfway, I guess, and I try to be really person-centered with what I do, and whether that's meeting people in their homes, out for a coffee, out for a walk. I want to approach people as a person, not as a professional. So it's quite a niche.
Oh, good. And your website too is www.armonia, ARMONIA, counselling.com.
Yep.
So Armonia.
Yep.
Armonia.
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 This is Spanish?
Yes, Spanish.
Spanish
Yep.
for well-being.
Spanish for harmony, which is balance. So
And we all need that in our life.
Yeah.
Some people think I'm really unbalanced.
like what I've found anyway from addiction, any sort of addiction, is that it's about finding balance.
It is.
Like I work a lot in the field of eating disorders, and a lot of that has to do with balance.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk a bit more about that when we get on the air with the radio audience.
Yeah.
Before we do, I'd like to just give another plug for Andrea's CD, her EP. You can get on the website and order her CD on www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and you can order her CD. You can also order our T-shirts. I'm wearing one tonight.
Yeah.
This is our favourite one, Not Even Once, No Ice. See that, guys? If you'd like one of these shirts, and we do have another one that says "Don't Mess with Meth,"
Yeah.
you can order the T-shirts on our website as well. The name of Andrea's album is called Highway Destruction. You can go to www.google.com/search Q equals highway plus destruction, okay, to see more. So, and I know that Andrea is on Spotify too, would you believe? I found your mum's EP on Spotify. So look up Andrea Simmons.
And her music has a lot of meaning and message behind it as well. So if you listen to the words,
it's very testimonial, isn't it?
Very strong, powerful.
And there's a secret out there. Don't tell anybody, guys. I know she's putting together album number 2.
Hey.
Whoops, I'm going to be in trouble off you, Andrea, for sharing that.
Keep people waiting.
Okay, guys, I've also got another instruction here just to let you know, if you'd like to volunteer with Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, there is options there on our webpage that you can... okay, we've got 1 minute left, guys, for the radio audience. But if you'd like to volunteer with us, go on our website, www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au, and you can click on the link to volunteer. Also, if you need some services on our website, if you press About Services, the little drop-down box gives you it also gives us the options if you need family support, okay? Thank you, Wayne.
30 seconds.
Thank you for listening in, Wayne. A Fijian guy I met founded Say No to Drugs motto. Be good to do good. Unfortunately, being very sick. Okay, we'll read more about that later. Hi, Bernice. Thank you for tuning in.
10 seconds.
We love you. 10 seconds we've got, guys. Then we're back on the radio, and I'll talk about it.
Mike's going live. Let's go.
Welcome back, guys, to 101.5 Bow FM. You're listening to Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, our program called Let's Talk About Ice. And that's not ice that you have in your rum and coke. No, sadly, it's about the epidemic of ice addiction within our country that's going on at the moment. And I know even within Beaufort, we're setting up a forum in this area, guys. If you're interested in knowing more about that and being a part of that, please call us through the week on 07 or 5665 6063, and we can fill you in a bit more on that. Tonight we're interviewing Brooke Wheeler, the daughter of Andrea Simmons, the founder of Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, and her journey going through with her mum when she went through ice addiction and how it led to her to become a counsellor. And during the break we were actually talking about her counselling style, and with Brooke, I think like with anybody that has lived experience, they seem to be able to connect more to people. And I see that with you, Brooke. I see that passion in you. I see that because of the journey you've been on with your mum, and I can see there's been a lot of forgiveness there as well. There was a time there before the break, you were sharing about visiting your mum in Melbourne and being shocked to see the state of mind that your mum was in. It was pretty bizarre for you as a young person. You were 19, is that right?
I was 19.
Okay, and then after you visited your mum, did you lose touch with her after that, or?
Yeah, so what happened was, we lost touch for a number of years, and I guess I was left quite confused, and I wasn't sure what was happening. And then from there, my mum miraculously found her way back to the Gold Coast, and decided to get clean, and pick herself back up. And through that journey, her faith actually helped build her up strong again and recover from that. But in amongst that, she approached my sister and I, and shared with us what she had been going through the last few years, and why we had lost contact with her. And to be honest, like it kind of gave me a bit of clarity around why this was happening, and the type of, I guess, the person that I was seeing in her. But
as she was explaining that journey to you from a daughter's point of view, so that people out there that are going through similar things, could you describe the feelings that you had, the issues that maybe you had to go through and deal with, especially during that time that you were estranged? I know that you had your own health issues because of that. Do you want to share a little bit more open about it? Because really what we want to get across to the audience here is how it affects the family. It doesn't just affect the person going through the drugs.
Not at all. It affected our whole family. So for me personally, like I said at the beginning, I was very, very close with my mum. So for her to disappear just out of nowhere, for me that caused a lot of identity issues, especially around the age that I was at. So for me, I I'd become very unwell with anorexia, and I had a lot of I questions coming up for me. And so for my mum coming back into the picture, I guess like I grew on this journey of figuring out who I was, and I guess forgiving my mum for where she had been, and I guess not being there as a mum due to her ice use. So coming back into the picture, it took us a while to build that relationship again, because it was quite difficult. She was still recovering and needing that support around her, whereas I, as a daughter, I was still looking for a mother in her, which she couldn't give me at that time. So
did that make you feel angry? Did that bring, did you have to deal with some issues of, you said forgiveness before, and anger toward her? Were you, how did that
there was a lot of anger there from me, and I guess I held her responsible for a lot of the issues that I ended up going through as well. So I guess I had to forgive her for not being there. Yes. In those times, and I guess take responsibility myself. Yeah. In all of that.
Yeah. Okay. Because we've got some questions here, and people are talking about God and all that. But you know what? It not necessarily you may have a faith in God, but we're talking about here Andrea and Brooke's journey. For them, it was their faith that got them through. For you, it could be something else. It could be someone else that gets you through. We want to get across basically that it affects more than just the person going through the addiction. It affects the extended family in that way. Brooke, I know you mentioned to me as we were discussing tonight's interview that you actually had gone down a path yourself. What path was that?
So for me, I had gotten quite unwell, and then I guess questioning more about my identity and my purpose and why I'm here and who I am. That led me to asking, like some of those bigger questions and exploring my faith a bit more.
Okay.
So for me, that was a huge, like it was a strength for me to...
Mentally, how did it affect you? Like you said, you suffered from something. Are you wanting to talk about that?
Yeah. So I did mention a bit before that, I developed pretty severe anorexia. I was away traveling for a little while, and I had to come back due to being so unwell.
Yeah.
And I had to take some time off just to regain weight and try to look after my mental well-being as well.
Yeah, and that was a determined choice on your part.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Matilda, you made a comment that, so if one doesn't believe in God, they won't get out of addiction. No, rubbish. You can get out of addiction, okay? Yeah. This is their journey.
This is just for us personally.
That was your journey. Other people have other ways. They have family members that give them strength. They have different ways of coping and strategies. There's a lot of holistic ways as well. And for that, we can get into optimal health, which I'm hoping next fortnight to have George Patrici on regarding optimal health. And you can gain more insight and strategies from your counsellor, from somebody that gives you support. So everyone has different ways. And I know there are people out there that have lost loved ones to the ice addiction.
Yeah.
It's 1% to 2%.
Yeah.
The statistics say that comes through ice addiction, and it's heart-wrenching.
So small.
It really is. And the goal of Let's Talk About Ice is to bring it out open to the public. It's also to let you know that we bring awareness. We work in a proactive manner. Okay, we go out there educating, and it will cut the supply. If we can cut the supply of ice and help young people and people in community have strategies to say no, because ice, it's even the other drugs you take, marijuana, speed, ecstasy, these days it's laced with acetone, it's laced with poisons such as Drano.
It's disgusting what they put into it.
It's absolutely, and nobody knows this. The education needs to be put out there, you know, because there are those, and I really feel for those who have said, Illyrian, I'm not sure how I said that name, I hope I said your name right, Illyrian. My heart goes out to you because you lost your beautiful, loving son to ice, and you don't know where he is. He's 26. We need you to contact us. It's people like yourself that we want to get on side. We have the family support in place to help you. We have the clinical support, which Brooke is part of our clinical support team, that are trained, qualified counsellors that can help you get through this, okay? As we, like I said, we work in a proactive way, okay? We do need the detoxes, we do need the rehabs. I'm not saying we don't, we do.
And we all need to work together on this. Like, I guess we've all got our own experiences that we can come together and try to tackle this issue. Yeah,
absolutely. And so what we aim to do at Australian Anti-Ice, our number one is education and awareness. Yet we have a side of care team. I'm the care team coordinator. I'm the first point of call. So if you are suffering in ice addiction, if you have a family member suffering in ice addiction, give us a call. It's 07565 6063, or if you are needing family support, it's 0481 844 555. And we can put you alongside a buddy, and we can also get you into clinical family support, which Brooke is a part of with Ammonia Counselling. Now, your journey, Brooke, before we go on to our next break.
10 seconds.
Okay, we've got 10 seconds for a break. So when we get back, we're going to talk about how Ammonia came about and how Brooke's life's experience led her to become the counsellor that she is today.
Yeah.
We'll be back in one moment. Okay, guys, we're just looking at our directions here. Just to let you know, on live stream, I just want to thank you so much for your input. I want to thank you for the hard statements that I'm reading on the support. I'm getting a little bit emotional here because I can hear the heart. I can hear the heart of you people out there that are going through this, and it's not easy, is it?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Especially as
we
families.
empathise, because there's situations that we've been in before, and we know that it's a systemic issue. Like, it's not just that one person that it impacts, and it impacts so many people. So we feel for you guys, and that's what drives us to have such a passion to do what we're doing with people.
And Lisa, I want to thank you for your input, Lisa. There's always someone out there who can help. There's friends, there's family, medical experts and counsellors. And she also wants to say to you, Illyria, that her heart breaks for you. She's been on that journey with 2 of her adult kids, and we hope things get better for you. And last fortnight I did interview Carol, who was the mum of a drug addict, DJ, who's now one of our lived experience presenters. So you know what, I'll give you hope. If you're struggling on ice addiction, go on our website, have a look at the testimonials on our website. There's a link there to testimonials. There's a link there, you'll see that Current Affair last November did a article on our program that we bring into the schools. Have a look at it. Do yourself a favour, get yourself clean as much as you can. Give us a call. We can buddy you up with someone, buddy, not butter, buddy you up with someone that can guide you to the right way to get support and help.
Yep.
That number's 5665 6063. Okay. Once you're clean for 12 months minimum, we can then, and you've been through rehab and detox, you can then join the team.
Yeah.
You do get intensely trained. You do dual diagnosis with George Patricki with Optimal Health. You get explained and helped through the tripod support system.
Yeah, and that experience is so valuable if you have been there and you can connect and build a relationship with people. That's just going to motivate you and drive you to be so amazing in that role. So you could help many people.
Yes.
Just by sharing that experience.
Yes.
So.
Matilda, you're mentioning that marijuana is now being used to treat patients with children with severe disabilities and seizures. That's medical marijuana. We're talking about
the illegal substance.
The illegal substance, ice addiction, methamphetamines. Okay, it plays with your brain. Methamphetamines takes away the logic part of your brain, so you're not thinking logically. That's why you see people getting out of control. They'll do anything for their next high. They'll lie to their family. They'll steal because they're not thinking of the logical outcomes and what they're doing. They're thinking about getting the next high. So it's not that person you've lost. It's like when the way I like to explain it, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong here, you break an arm, that arm is useless to you until it gets healed. It's like your brain. The methamphetamines and the poisons and the acetones and the acids they put in these drugs are eating away your synapses.
Severs the connections that you have in your brain.
Yeah, and so you don't have that ability to think right.
Yeah.
So you're losing your daughter, your mother, your father, your partner, your friend. They're not thinking right, but they can come back because our brain, the way it's been created, is plasticity.
Neuroplasticity, it's called. You can rewire the way your brain works by how you think.
You can, and after, I think Andrea, your mum, has been off, how long has she been off the gear for, do you know? 4 or 5 years?
I don't know exactly.
I think she said 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And although she still has memory issues, her brain is coming back and it's more, actually she remembers more till she lets on, I think. But it does become well, and you can have recovery. There is recovery. Recovery is possible. If you are struggling with addiction and have just had enough and want to change your life, just please call us. Please call us on 07 5665 6063. Okay, so we've got 1 minute before we go back on the radio, and this is our 3rd segment, is it, Rob? Okay, so we're allowed to go overtime tonight, which is good. I hope you guys don't mind sitting up listening to us, because I love how Brooke is coming from that perspective of a child. We were talking about how it does affect the extended family, and we'll be talking about your journey through, you had anorexia. Do you want to talk about that? If you don't feel comfortable, that's fine too.
Yeah, well, I guess I can share a little bit about how that's driven me to work in the field that I'm in.
Right, okay, so that's what we'll be doing when we go back on the air, and we're just listening to the end of Andrea's salon. And then I think after this one, do we wrap up, or we've got another?
10 seconds, just a bit at the end of it.
Okay, this is our last 10.
Segment.
Okay, our last segment, so we'll wrap up. Hope you're enjoying the program. Okay, we're back on air, 101.5 Bow FM. Thank you for listening in, listeners in the Bow Desert District, and those on live stream. You can hook into our website. It's called Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, and like us on Facebook, and you'll see us on live stream looking a bit silly here on the radio. No, having fun. We're just having fun and having a chat with Brooke Wheeler, who's the daughter of Andrea Simmons, and her journey with her mum through the ice addiction and how it affects the extended family. Now, in one way, there was one way it really did affect you, Brooke. I'd like you to share with the audience what it did really do to you health-wise.
Health-wise, I guess it shaped up my whole world when my mum left, and I lost contact with her. So for me, health-wise, I developed anorexia quite severely. I was down to 40 kilos. Wow. I had BMI of 14. So for me, it was quite difficult, and through my mum coming back and us trying to reconnect again, that's where I started to regain my strength and recover as well. So I almost felt like my mum and I were coming through recovery together, around similar times, through different types of addictions. So, which was just different coping strategies. So, through that it was quite difficult for us to reconnect and build on a relationship together. Okay. But over time, you did. We did. It's possible. So I just want to give people hope that
I was going to say that,
through such a difficult time and a long time waiting and such negative impacts and for both of us, unhealthy ways to cope with emotional pressure.
And through that life experience, it led you to become a counsellor yourself, and I think you could empathise better with your clients in that respect. I'm sure you can. How does that work?
Not only from a daughter of a mother who's been through ice addiction, but then also going through my own mental health struggles, it's led me to be really passionate and empathic towards people who are going through any sort of mental health conditions. So I've been working in the field for quite a few years now. Absolutely love working and connecting with people and hearing their stories, and I guess trying to empower them and encourage them and give them hope in whatever way that I can with working with people. So I've just begun my own counselling practice as well.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What's the name of your counselling practice? Give it a plug.
So that's called Armonía, which is Spanish for harmony. So as many people would be aware, with addiction, it can sometimes be taken to the extreme with any sort of addiction. So I like to emphasize the point on balance in everything in life. So, so that's where I've come up with the name. But for what I'm doing with people is I like to just meet people, I guess, as another human being, and just meet them where they're at, and I like to work mobile, so either go for a walk with someone, meet for a coffee, go to their home, wherever is going to be most comfortable for that person, because I don't want it to be like a clinical practice where there's a professional and client. We're two human beings, we're both learning together and exploring and growing.
From your experience then, somebody's asked the question, how did you reconnect? When your mum came back, what did you do to rebuild that relationship so that people out there can help rebuild? What hints can you give people to help rebuild their relationship with their loved ones?
I think, it took us quite a bit of time, I guess, to both grow and, learn how to communicate again with what we were both expecting and what we both wanted in our relationship. I guess establish healthy boundaries, I think, is huge in any family relationship. If you've got a loved one who does use ice or any drug for that instance, boundaries is huge in what we're teaching a lot of family members in the family support. So boundaries was a big one for us, and forgiveness was quite big too for both of us, just be forgiving of what we've both come through.
And I think that to help with forgiveness, I think, is to recognise that it's the brain that's being disturbed during drug addiction. As we said earlier, it's the synapses, is that correct?
Synapses,
in the brain that gets destroyed when they're under addiction, so they don't think Addicts don't think straight.
Well, yeah, they can't use their prefrontal cortex.
That's
so
it.
They can't make rational decisions or forward think or plan, all of those.
Okay, and what are some examples of boundaries that you think should be set? Because this is getting into the enabling side. So what do you mean by boundaries?
So from what I've noticed in my experience and many others that I've spoken to is that a lot of people don't understand, what's theirs and, what's the other person's, I call them like invisible fences of love.
Oh,
so,
I love that. Invisible fences of love.
Yeah, so like, what's in your control and what's in their control. So, being able to love somebody and give them free choice.
Yes.
In making their own decisions. But, you can support them and encourage them and love them in that. But at the end of the day, if people are still choosing to, take drugs or the actions that they decide to take, they have to feel the responsibility and those consequences naturally that come from those actions. So distinguishing, what's mine and what's theirs.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Natasha. And thank you for listening in and for that question. Hi, Jerry. Thank you for watching the live stream. We've got a few minutes left. So just to wrap up, you were able to, it takes time. How long do you think it took? Not that it's the same for every family, but just to give people hope out there. It does take time to reconnect with loved ones that are going through the other side of addiction once they've realised and getting help. Roughly, it can take what from what, and
so for
where
us,
are you at now?
We clashed quite a bit the first year or so, just in what we were expecting from each other and just how we grew through that. But I guess it's different for everybody for where they're at, and I guess their types of relationships, their supports that they have in place too. I guess if you're set up with the right supports, you'll be able to grow and work through that a lot quicker and easier. And
with that said about support systems, we here at Australian Anti-Ice Campaign like to set you up with good buddy supports. They're people that have lived the experience that can relate to you struggling through, and there is hope. There is an answer. I don't like it. Just don't give up. Don't give up. There is an answer out there. You can call us on 07565 6063. I say 07 because I know there are people listening from all over Australia here. If you're listening from, let us know actually. It'd be good to know what states you're listening from. We've got 2 minutes to go. Maybe you're listening from overseas, who knows, or watching, sorry. Listening is only a short area within the Bow Desert area, which we're very thankful for Bow FM 101.5 FM for having us. And we want to thank you for that. But what I was saying is you can call us on 5665 6063 or 0481 844 555 for family support, and we can get you connected with some help. Good, Adelaide's listening. Thank you very much. Melbourne's listening. Hi, good old Melbourne. And St Leonard's in Sydney. Hi, Wayne. Welcome to the show, and thank you and please share the live stream with your mates, with your friends, because you never know who you could be reaching. Somebody needing help with this horrible epidemic that's going through Australia at the moment, and we've just recently had new statistics out. Hi, Wollongong and Cairns. Send their love. We've got 1 minute to say goodbye to the radio audience, and then we'll say goodbye to our live stream audience. So guys at Bow Desert, there is a forum coming on and soon, and up here to deal with it, because I know a lot of rural areas are suffering high rates of ice addiction.
Statistics out in rural areas.
It is, and it's just absolutely ridiculous and rampant. But if we can stop the supply, the demand. If we can stop the demand, I get those two confused. If we can stop the demand, then the supply will be down.
And education is huge.
Absolutely, and that's our proactive way that we work here at Australian Anti-Ice Campaign. So, and when you're on the 10 seconds, we've got 20 seconds, we're saying goodbye to our radio audience. Please get on the website, www.australianantiicecampaign.org. And as we say at Australian Anti-Ice, to say goodbye to our radio audience, we say, not even once. And guys, thank you for watching on live stream. We'll just start to finish up now. As I was saying, get on the website. There is a petition on our website as well at www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au and sign that petition so that we can please get the government to stand up and listen and see that what we're doing is proactive. It's bringing education and awareness into the community.
Yeah. Well, it's that prevention rather than the treatment after. You know, if we step in before, you know, it can save a lot of people a lot of heartache and issues, and yeah. So yeah, I guess from that.
Thank you so much for joining us, Brooke. Now, just to finish up, where are you and your mum at these days?
Oh, we're closer than ever.
I can see that. I've seen them together. They are terrific.
It's amazing because from this, you know, both of us have got to grow together. We're learning more and more about how we can, you know, bond, communicate, and have our own boundaries in our own lives too. And we get to encourage each other in, you know, both of our like hearts of where we're at with what we want to do. So I really love to encourage my mum with AAIC, and you know, I'm part of that, the family support there, and the team there, and same back, like she's so supportive of me in my counselling journey, and so we're super close now from all of this, and I couldn't have wished for better ending to it.
Yeah, and I know that it doesn't always end well. We're not being pie in the sky here. This is just one journey that I'd like to share with you guys, but I want to give those of you that are struggling and still going through it with family members, there is hope out there, okay guys? And you can get on board, get on our website, you can donate. We rely on the donations of the kind public and sponsorship from businesses. If you're a business and you'd like to promote your business through Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, please give us a call. Go to our website. Call us during the weekday hours, please, on 075 665 6063, so that we can get you on board with our operations manager, Glenn, and he can talk about different levels of sponsorship, because we need to get it out there. It could be your children, your grandchildren that you're saving. Okay, you know, $5 a month, Brooke, educates one child in a school.
Wow.
Simply, even if you gave $5 a month, which are tax deductible.
And yeah, I was going to say, for businesses, that's tax deductible. Yeah.
Yep. And you know, get on board, guys. You've got to. No government support at the moment. We just are trying to get that support in there as well with the signing of our petition on the website. If you'd like to volunteer your time, we've got AAIC starting up in various states around Australia. So no matter where you're from, get on the website, go to the volunteer link, and fill in the details there, and our volunteer coordinator Victoria will get on to you straight away to see how you can volunteer your time as well.
Yeah, and I just want to encourage people, like, it's a whole community issue. It doesn't just affect, you know, the person who's using the drug, or even the family only, but, you know, as society as a whole. I guess from a government's point of view, it's costing the government a lot of money for treatments, for rehabilitation, for counselling supports, things like that. So let's get into the prevention to avoid all of that.
Yeah, and I just read recently in the news that in the ED departments they're putting nurses and staff in stab-proof vests. It's just ridiculous. Wow. Why can't we educate the community? Why can't we stop this? I'm getting on my high horse now. But anyway, get on the website, and there is an epidemic and we do need to educate. Thank you, Susan. And I would like to thank Temahaya for listening in, and Natasha, and for all your support out there. We better sign off because we're going overtime as it is due to technical difficulties. So thank you so much, Brooke, for joining us from Ammonia Counselling. What's the phone number at Ammonia?
0424 549 916, or you can go onto the website at www.armoniacounselling.com.
So thank you so much for bringing us your shared testimony. We really appreciate it. And until next fortnight, guys, we're signing off now from Australian Anti-Ice Campaign's Let's Talk About Ice live stream from the radio at 101.5 Bow FM. And remember, not even once. See you guys.
Bye.